Happy Monday, everybody. This is April 6th, and we are doing cha-cha for our beginner level class. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the music on for just a moment. I'm going to bring Na out. We're going to actually dance with the music, the three patterns that we're going to break down and teach you today. And then we'll get back into the instructional part of the video.
Je suis avec une pointe de fond. Aïe, Dios ma carte devient loco. Pas de chaleur en fume, mais putain, c'est frio. Je suis comme ça, j'y peux rien, plus méditerranéen. Fier de l'être, au moins y'en a un. Sur ce morceau, je prends mon pied, je me fais un beat trop stylé. Si t'es pas dans ma droite filée, sur un heure de salsa, via Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominicana et Las Malas. Baila conmigo, que yo quiero bailar contigo. No le quicha, no le quicha.
Okay, so that was a demonstration of the patterns. Now I'm going to go ahead and break them down for you. Again, a reminder, the man always starts with his left foot, the lady always starts with her right foot. I'll do the patterns facing both directions so you can see them, gentlemen. Our cha-cha basic is man stepping to the side on the count of 1, rock, step, and a triple step to the side, rock, step, and a triple step to the side. Now, when I say triple step, or you hear me count 4 and 1, what that tells us is we are doing 3 steps and 2 counts. So those 3 steps have to move faster than the beat or the rhythm or the speed, the tempo of the music, because we have to get 3 steps into 2 counts. So when I'm dancing that cha-cha, I'm doing single, 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 triple step, single, single, triple step, single, single. And by the way, ladies, except for the foot that we start the pattern on, once we get going, the parts are exactly the same, right? They are cha-cha-cha, rock, step. Now the actual numbers for these patterns or this movement, right? This would be the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now some important things about that cha-cha basic. We want that cha-cha basic. If I put a piece of tape on the floor, every time I do my cha-cha-cha, I want all of my toes on that tape for all 3 steps. So this is correct. 1, 2, 3, and cha-cha-cha. You can see that my feet stayed right down that tape, right down that line as I danced those 3 steps. Now, I'll show you some versions of it so you understand what I mean by different. 1, 2, 3. Here I'm kind of drifting forward. That's bad, right? I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3. Here I'm drifting away. So either of those are going to be a problem for my partner because wherever I go, they're going. And in ballroom dancing, whatever I do means something to the lady. The problem is, as a beginner, we don't know we're sending those signals, but the lady's still feeling them. So that's really important for us, is to develop that ability to stay on that straight line. So the man's part to a cha-cha basic, starting with his left foot, is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and continue on. The lady's part to that is exactly the same, but she's going to be starting with her right foot. So I'm going to turn the man's part around, and it would look like this from behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Now when we do the rock steps, by the way, that's the counts of 2, 3, we're not going to get our weight all the way completely hanging out, like hanging 10 on a surfboard over the front of that foot, because we simply don't have enough time in the music to go that far with our body, and that's a little bit, you can see by the position of my body, I'm actually falling forward. So when I do those rock steps, I'm definitely transferring, changing weight, but I'm not rocking in the sense of like, you know, in a rocking chair, or rocking back and forth. That's just the term that we use. I'm marching forward, I'm replacing my weight backward, or vice versa. I'm stepping backward and replacing my weight forward. So that's our rock step. So the ladies' part for that cha-cha basic, she would start with her right foot, and she would dance 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Now throughout the video, or videos, you're going to notice I'm going to throw some technical things in. Here's what you want to do while you're learning. First, just get the step. Get where your feet are going. Next, start to develop your awareness, your sense of the timing, the rhythm that you're doing. And then lastly, the techniques that we throw in, try those. But you want to build some confidence, some expertise, if you will, right? Some muscle memory into each of those things before you add another thing on. If you try and do everything that I'm showing you all at once, it's going to be an epic fail, and it'll be crazy frustrating, right? So, having said that, when we're doing cha-cha or any of our Latin dances, cha-cha, rumba, merengue, swings, all of those, when we take a step in those dances, our step always begins by bending our knee, and then as our weight transfers onto the foot, we're going to straighten the leg. Now, I want you to notice when I say straighten my leg, it's locked. It's hyperextended. It is as far back as I can get that to go without blowing out my kneecap. I'm not applying force or pressure. I'm just going to that position. Now, by the way, if you happen to be standing up while you're watching this video and you're just standing there, you'll notice that's exactly how you stand. So when you're at rest every day, just chatting to somebody, looking at the shelves in the grocery store with your mask on, whatever it is that you're doing, you're always standing with that leg straight. So every time we take a step in a Latin dance, we're looking to lock that knee on every single step that we take. Every single count, okay? All right, enough of the technique for now. So now we're going to do a couple other patterns. So we've done the cha-cha basic. Now the good thing is everything comes off that cha-cha basic, all of our steps and patterns. The timing is going to stay the same. The cha-cha-cha is always going to go sideways down that line. That's going to remain the same. And that really helps us, gives us a structure. So we're going to leave the lady for an underarm turn. And how we're going to do that, gentlemen, is we're going to do a cha-cha basic. And as we do that cha-cha-cha to the side, our left hand comes down from normal position down at our waist. And that's going to be a little cramped, and that's a good thing. And as we start that cha-cha-cha to the side, I'm going to release my right hand off the lady's back. What that does is this makes her uncomfortable. I'm going to release her, and she's actually, as she does her cha-cha-cha, she's going to drift away from me. Now, when we do the rock step, I'm going to rock backward. I'm going to do a back rock. So both the man and the lady are rocking away from each other. We call this an open break. When we use the word break in dancing, you could substitute rock step, right? So we're doing an open rock step. Now I'm going to go back to my cha-cha-cha, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to pick this hand up to signal the lady that in a minute, not now, but in a minute, she's going to go into the arm. So I'm going to pick up that hand for the cha-cha-cha. Now I'm going to rock back just like I normally do. Lady's going to go under the arm. I'm going to do my cha-cha-cha to the side. I'm going to pick her back up and dance hold, and away we go. All right? So there is one little variable there, and that is that the first 3 steps for the man were back rocks. So we did side, back rock once, cha-cha-cha, back rock twice, cha-cha-cha, back rock a third time, and now we finally get to our normal rock forward with that right foot. Okay? Now, ladies, what you're doing is you're doing that basic action. So you're dancing 1, 2, 3. He's going to bring that down, which is going to make this a little cramped, right? He's going to release this hand. So as he does that, that arm, your body's going to get more comfortable. It will drift away from the man. We're going to do our normal back rock for 2, 3. He's going to pick the hand up, cha, cha, cha. Notice, ladies, that hand went up. There was absolutely no reaction from me at all because the hand going up, ladies, is not the lead for the turn. It's the garage door going up before you back the car out, not in the other order. So the man has to get the hand up so that I can go under it. Now I've got a signal that the underarm turn is going to happen soon. So on my normal forward rock in cha-cha, I'm stepping straight forward. But when the man leads me for that turn, that forward step is going to go a little across my body, so I'll face the camera so you can see. A normal cha-cha-cha, and I'd rock straight forward of my body with that action. When I do that same move for the underarm turn, and I dance my cha-cha-cha, that forward step, it's not a side step, it's a forward step, but it's going to go in line with or slightly across my other foot. Now I'm going to put my weight on that, and I'm going to turn with my weight on my left foot. My weight is going to stay completely on that left foot for the whole turn. So I'll do it from the side so you can see it. So as I step forward here, I'm going to turn all the way around and keep all of my weight completely on that foot. I'm going to step out. Now my partner's over here at the moment, and on the cha-cha-cha is when I'm going to turn to face him. Cha-cha-cha. So let me take that whole thing kind of uninterrupted. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Hand comes up. I step across and turn and walk and cha-cha-cha to face my partner. So squaring up to my partner was at the end of that 2-3 count. 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right? Now I'm going to put my mask on, and we're going to take Na through this just real quick so you can see all those bits and pieces all together there. Okay? So we're going to do it from this angle first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and then I'll come pick the lady up afterwards, okay? So we're going to do that from a little different angle this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and open up. You see we're opened away. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Right? Now here on the rock step, by the way, you notice Na did not come back to me coming out of the underarm turn. Our rule of thumb is when the lady does the underarm turn, the man always goes to the lady because she does not know what he's going to do next. So it's up to me to either go get her or to leave her out there. And it's okay if we dance cha-cha just away from each other. Just a normal cha-cha basic with nothing weird going on about it. Nothing changes any different. Got it? And then when I'm ready, I'll make that small move in to pick her up. All right? So that's our underarm turn. Our last move that we're going to do is called a crossover break. Now, everything in cha-cha that you're going to learn as a beginner keeps this timing of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Or if you want to simplify it for yourself for a little while, you can count 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. That works temporarily, but it'll actually get more confusing the longer you use it. So if you need it as a beginner for the first couple times, but you want to eventually be able to get to that timing. So crossover break, what that tells us when we hear the word crossover, or what we're going to learn that tells us, is that we're going to turn and rock forward. So what ends up happening is our cha-cha-cha remains the same, but now all of our rocks are going to go forward down the same line, down that same piece of tape, if you will, that we did the cha-cha-cha on. So I would start my basic, 2, 3 is the man, cha-cha-cha. Now instead of rocking here or there, I'm rocking there. So we could say that normally we rock north and south, but on a crossover break, we're rocking east and west. So I'm going to turn and do rock, step, square up to my partner for the cha-cha-cha, turn east and west, rock, step, square up to my partner for the cha-cha-cha. Do that one more time, rock, step, square up to my partner, and pick up my hand. Now, from the last pattern, the lady knows in a moment, on the count of 2, she's going to do the underarm, and that is the count that the lady turns on. 2, that's when she made the turn. 3, she walked out, and then she squares up, 4 and 1, and I either pick her up or I leave her there. So we do 3 crossover breaks and the underarm turn. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and the lady goes underarm. She turns on 2, walks out 3, faces the man on 4 and 1, and then I either pick her up or I don't. So the lady's part for this pattern is the exact opposite, with the exception of the underarm turn. Okay? So the lady would be dancing 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, rock, step, 4 and 1, rock, step, 4 and 1, rock, step. The hand goes up. She steps on 2 and turns, walks on 3, and then faces the man on the 4 and 1, does her back rock, and we're back into that move. So we're going to do that with Na real quick because there's a couple other technical points that we want to cover about that. Oops, let me get my mask on first. There we go. And that is this. So I was talking about how we want to step down the tape. So we're going to do it sideways so you can see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So we're stepping straight out, right? Now what you want to notice, we're going to stop here for just a second. You're going to notice that our feet are pointed right toward the camera, right? Now it's very easy, especially as a beginner, when our body turns, we get a little pigeon-toed with our feet and they start to go wonky on us. And they follow what our body's doing, and we end up actually kind of backward to each other, right? And we don't want to be backward to each other, we want to be sideways. So we want to make sure that that foot, go ahead and correct, that foot goes straight down the line. So when we dance this pattern, you're going to see that on each of these moves. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha, rock, step, cha-cha-cha, rock, step, cha-cha-cha, rock, step. Hand goes up. Notice that Na didn't do anything. She didn't turn her shoulders, nothing. She steps onto 2. When she got onto 2, she's still in that same position. Then once she gets there, that's when her turn is. That's still on the count of 2. We walk out 3. She's going to turn to me on the cha-cha-cha and cha-cha-cha. Now, gentlemen, how we're going to set this up is this left hand is going to drop down. And as I drop that hand down, you can see our elbows are kind of behind us. And again, that's awkward and uncomfortable. And what that does is that makes the lady, not by some physical force, just because she's uncomfortable, she'll move a distance away from you. And that's important because it's very hard to do these turns to the crossover, right, when we're too close together, because there's not enough room for Na's big wide shoulders to get through there. I would have been fine, but her shoulders are too wide to get through there. So we want to have enough room so that both of us can freely rotate our shoulders and feet and hips to come through that move, right? So that's our cha-cha crossover breaks, okay? All right, guys? So that does it for our first class in cha-cha. Now, before we go, we're going to put a little bit of music on and dance through those patterns again with the music so that you can see what they look like to the music.
You give me fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
break. Hand comes down.